You're listening to The Front Porch Show. Some shows are niche shows, talking about specific topics. Others, shows about nothing. This show is the show about everything. On The Front Porch Show, we'll talk about current events, some news, a little bit of politics, along with a whole lot of life. Welcome to our Front Porch. 1-402-799-1811. That is the message line number. You can reach us anytime. We are here. It's Ozzy and I.
What?
It is, Jeff is celebrating the birth of his wife. Wait. He is.
He is. That didn't sound right.
The day of the birth of his wife.
That sounded very arranged marriage.
Celebrating the day of his wife's, the historical day of his wife's birth. And Tombstone is celebrating the marriage of his wife. The marriage to his wife.
Yes. It's not better. That's so not better. It's a good thing we're not talking about a serious matter here.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Oh my goodness. We're terrible people.
Ozzy, story from this week that we kind of can't get away from. Beruit.
Yeah.
Dude.
I'm looking through the photos now of like the buildings and stuff, man.
Isn't that incredible?
Gone.
Yeah.
They're just gone.
So, do we have a blast radius?
I heard it was about a half mile.
That was my prediction as well.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It was like a half mile, but there was still like a lot of damage even after that from the shockwave.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we had 6 miles of.
It was maybe I'm not sure how far it was.
I think it was everything destroyed within like 3 kilometers, which is what, half mile.
Let's see.
Okay, I mean that's crazy. I'm trying to bring it up here. Let's see.
3 kilometers is way more than a half mile. What are you talking about?
Is it 3? No, I guess 3 kilometers is a mile.
A 5K.
Yeah, that would be a mile.
A 5K is almost 3 miles.
It'd be a mile.
Or it's just over 3 miles. All right. You got a
6 mile radius. There was.
Yeah, 9K. 9 kilometer.
Okay, so I'm still sketchy on what blew up.
Well, it's not there anymore.
It's not like we can see it.
Yeah. There's quite literally, I don't know if there's much evidence left.
So from what I understand, and this is according to, the sources on the ground there, there was a ship 6 years ago that was confiscated, that was hauling ammonium nitrate. And that ship was offloaded into a warehouse.
Oh, okay.
It was offloaded into a warehouse. They had a ship there that was hauling fireworks, because I guess fireworks is a huge thing in Lebanon. I did not know this.
We'll go with it.
They use fireworks to celebrate everything.
What are they celebrating? Is it like a big holiday or something? Or is it just?
I don't know.
They're regular.
They're getting ready to.
They're regular, ridiculously large shipment of fireworks.
They're getting ready to party, I guess.
How big is Beirut?
I don't know. That's a good question.
How big of a city are we talking about?
And so you have them offloading the ship. Now, this is according to the story. A fire was started when a crate full of fireworks dropped to the ground. And then the fire spread and got into the ammonium nitrate. Now, if you remember,
okay, so Beirut is approximately 7.645 miles squared.
Okay,
so this took out like like the entire city was basically affected by this.
Yeah,
explosion.
Absolutely. That's wild.
That's pretty incredible. At least, maybe half the city.
So do you remember the Oklahoma City bombing? I mean, we were young at that point.
I do. I remember that happening.
That used 2 tons of ammonium nitrate. So that was it Timothy McVeigh Loaded up a truck, a U-Haul truck, or I don't want to indemnify U-Haul right here, but it was a box truck with 2 tons of ammonium nitrate, and it blew off the front of the building.
Right.
And may those people rest in peace.
Was quite,
This
quite
was 2,700 tons of ammonium nitrate.
Yeah.
And it had the power of 1/5 of the Hiroshima bomb.
That's incredible.
Yes.
That's an incredible amount of power.
Yes. Yes, it is.
And nobody was like leery of that fact before this happened.
That's the thing. No. That's the thing.
Very,
that's the thing. I guess the
stupid?
guy in charge of safety at the port kept saying, "Hey, we got to move this stuff. Hey, we got to move this stuff," and no one would move it. They're like, "We don't have anywhere else to put it."
I mean, hey,
Wow.
Yeah.
That is such a lot of like.
So we had a ship fireworks lit on fire, lit the warehouse on fire. Boom.
Yeah. So that's what I think happened. I mean, as I'm looking here at the blast site, I mean, you're talking
like
the entire port area is gone. I mean, there's literally a container ship that got blown over, like completely sunk.
It's incredible.
2 other ships right there that are
the buildings. Like the buildings are what's shocking to me, because you have the buildings around it, and it does like they're gone. They're literally scrap.
Nothing there.
Yeah, it's the frames of the buildings.
Yep.
They're just scrap. That's all it is.
They said a lot of the issue is they don't know who was there.
Right.
And they there's no bodies left.
Right.
They're just everything's gone. I mean, literally, we're looking at the pictures here, and the only thing you can see is the steel framing of the buildings.
Yeah.
There's nothing else left. Exactly. I can't believe how much those grain silos there took the brunt of the explosion.
Dude, seriously, I'm wondering how much more damage there would have been in back of that.
Oh, I know.
If
those
it would have
weren't
taken
there.
it like, I'm wondering if it would have taken out like this entire. It's almost like a little peninsula, I guess. The port's on. I'm wondering if it would have taken out more of that.
Oh my God.
If those grain silos wouldn't have been there.
The crater in the ground is like that was land. That was land.
Do they know how deep that is now? That's what I'm curious about.
I don't know. Send Phil out there with a tape measure.
Yeah, right.
Let's see. I mean, there's nothing dangerous there anymore.
It's one way to get rid of that stuff, the ammonium.
Yeah. So the ammonium nitrate. For those of you who don't know, it's a fertilizer. Everyone uses it.
Right.
But it's also used as an explosive.
Right.
Which is so screwed up. Like it's so crazy.
Makes things go bang really big.
So it's basically they've used it to replace dynamite because it is so effective.
Yep.
But the nitrates are what give the nutrients to the soil for the crops. But man, that just crazy. The videos coming out.
Oh, those are terrifying.
The videos coming out are just absolutely incredible.
Dude, I bet there's so many videos that are still going to come out, because you had that, like the fire that was on the or was caused by the fireworks or whatever. That was a large plume of smoke.
It was incredible because the fire, and you can actually see the fireworks going off.
Right, popping off, yeah.
But it's like that building is engulfed, and then all of a sudden you have the big boom in the mushroom cloud.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, I guess the thing is, you get enough of that stuff in one place, and
I mean, yeah, once it goes off, I guess it just chain reactions. Just boom, the whole thing goes.
Did you see the conspiracy theories saying that it was a missile?
I've heard one or two. I don't know. What do we think about this?
I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
I don't either. I mean, I guess there's the potential. I don't know if there's really a way to prove that it is.
Maybe
or that
something
it's
to look
not,
into. Maybe something to look into.
I don't know. I feel like this is like the. Is there like evidence that's left behind that they could prove that it was something other than the fireworks?
Yeah, I know, right?
Like I don't know how much evidence they can recover.
Well, right. Because there is nothing.
Right.
The only thing I was thinking was that
this is not like the Oklahoma City bombing where it was like, okay, they had videos of the truck passing by and it only blew up really one building.
Yeah, right.
This was like everything.
This is everything for a half mile is gone.
Everything within a half mile is just gone. It's demolished everything, or it's just shrapnel. It's not. Yeah, there's nothing that you'll be able to. At least I think. I don't know. I don't think there's anything that they're going to be able to just say, hey, you know what? We can put this evidence back together and tell you what happened. I think it's just completely. Just
it's incredible. Where is now as we were theorizing on this, as it just happened, I think it happened like 10 minutes, probably 10, 20 minutes. All of a sudden we were texting all about it.
Yeah.
And
well, it's a big deal.
Well, right.
There's always that potential that all of a sudden Israel is just kind of gone off not off the deep end, but all of a sudden, you know, there's a lot of tension between a couple of these countries.
Right.
Just saying. So that was my first thought is, holy cow, they're going at each other.
Well, right. And that was a thought of mine as well. However,
and especially with how it looked, like the videos that were coming out of the explosion, like that does not look like anything.
No.
That's
it was
just, you know,
I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I'm going to. Wasn't it Jeff who thought it was a pocket nuke or something at first, and then he mentioned Moab, which is the mother of all bombs. Which, by the way, as I was researching that, our Catholic brethren don't like that name. The mother of all bombs.
They prefer holy hand grenade.
Possibly. I'm looking here at the Moab. The Moab is, as I said before, the mother of all bombs. The GBU-43B. It has its blast yield of 11 tons of TNT. I'm curious to see how many Moabs that. I mean, it would probably be what, 100 Moabs, 100 Moabs, I think.
That's a pretty big bomb, though.
I mean, that's a huge bomb.
Like you definitely would have seen that.
Well, it was
somebody
right, and no one, like, there's no actual evidence that it
right. And I think how that Israel reacted and how Lebanon reacted was pretty
okay. So here's
non-aggressive towards each other.
Here's a good. I don't know,
maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, size of blast in metric tons of TNT. Thank you, USA Today, for coming up with this. The Oklahoma City bombing was the equivalent of 1.8 tons of TNT.
Okay.
Beirut was 500 plus tons of TNT. Halifax, Nova Scotia in 1917 was 2,900 tons of TNT. What happened in Halifax, Nova Scotia?
I don't know.
Because we had a fertilizer plant in Texas blow up in the 40s, I believe. And that was a crazy happening.
Let's see, when was this? 1917. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this was 1970. Wow, I did not know this happened.
There were almost 2,000 deaths, 9,000 non-fatal injuries, approximately.
A ship laden with explosives.
Jeez.
Wow, Halifax. Wow.
How did we miss this like 100 years late?
Well, I don't know. There were 2,000 deaths in Halifax because of that blast, 9,000 injured.
That's pretty incredible.
They're saying it flattened more than a square mile. which yeah, makes sense, I guess.
I would imagine.
I mean,
having the building structures back then, I would imagine that they aren't comparable to.
But I mean, Beirut being 500
are.
tons of TNT,
right? But like, look at the buildings in back of this, though. Like, it's incredible.
Oh yeah,
so these buildings are, I don't know, maybe 4 blocks, 5 blocks off of the blast, and they're just like, they're hollow. Like they look like they've been abandoned and that nobody's lived in them for years. The windows are all blown out. Like the whole sides of the buildings are kind of falling down.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
I mean,
the damage.
They're definitely. My heart goes out to those people. It's one of those things. They were already going through a very bad economic time to begin with.
Yeah,
and they are now. And COVID hit them very bad. Not from a case number, but from an economic standpoint.
Yep.
And they, I think they were saying over 50% of the population is considered is well under, was like unemployed, poor, very, very bad off.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden you get this happening, and
that's crazy. It's still, it's incredible. It is incredible.
So let me see here. Because I'm super curious. So that was in
yet another reason why you don't live at a port.
1947. There was a ammonium nitrate explosion. In Texas, Nixon, New Jersey, Gibson, New Jersey. New Jersey doesn't seem like it's doing very well, man. New Jersey's got 3 of these explosions.
Yeah, we also had the Hindenburg, too. Don't forget about that.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Is there like a memorial there?
I don't know. We haven't been to it. I think there is. I honestly, curious. I was not even aware that it was New Jersey until about, I don't know, 4 years ago.
That was up at that train. It's up at the training base or whatever or something.
Yeah. Nope, wasn't even aware that was the thing. And then it was like, I was looking it up for something and I was like, holy cow, this was in New Jersey? So, yeah, that happened.
So, yeah, they blew up, or they didn't, it blew up. 2,000 tons of ammonium nitrate in Texas. France in 1947 also lost a cargo ship full of it. 3,300 tons. Wow, guys. We really need to be careful with this. Now, this is the one I remember, the West Fertilizer Company in West Texas. It caught fire, and then 20 minutes later, it leveled 80 homes in a middle school, and that was 240 tons.
Yikes!
That was absolutely crazy. That was 2013, and then there was another couple incidents in Texas as well. So. Not cool stuff to play with. I mean,
no, not so much.
Man, careful. Yeah, I don't even know how to exit from that other than pressing the outro button and yeah, definitely be praying for the folks of Beruit.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democrat, and I love John McCain. And I also am told that Chuck Graham, state senator's here. Chuck, stand up, Chuck. Good to see you. Oh, God love you. What am I talking about? I tell you what.
No one knows.
If we do everything right, we do it with absolute certainty. We stand up there and we make really tough decisions. There's still a 30% chance we're going to get it wrong.
Thank you, Joe.
Oh, Sleepy Joe.
Oh, yeah. I wish I could just have this music playing through the whole background of the entire segment, but I can't. I didn't loop it properly.
Joe Biden.
Earlier this year, back in April, Obama, no shock, endorsed endorsed Joe Biden as he's running for president of the United States. And he's received another endorsement, just so you know. Very, very, very critical, very important. No, we're not talking about the union organizations. We are talking about Bob Avakian. Do you know who he is, Bob Avakian?
Maybe.
He is the founder and leader of the Revolutionary Communist Party, United States.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes. He says it's an easy call. No qualms about backing Democrat Joseph Biden.
And nobody's concerned about
look,
this?
I realize that I realize that anyone can endorse anyone. Take, for instance, some of the white supremacists backing Donald Trump, okay? And that obviously should be suspect as well. For obvious reasons. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
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 Yeah,
just
big
saying.
shit. Yeah.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah. Okay.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But hey, it's okay because he's not communist. He
right.
wants socialism.
Right.
Communism.
Right.
I read this entire article about why socialism is not the socialism that everybody thinks that it is. It was quite in depth and quite foolish, I have to say.
Let's talk about that in a couple segments.
It was very interesting
because I've got a whole lineup of topics on that.
Do you? Okay,
look,
cool.
Ozzy, I've declared war on Marxism.
I mean,
I have.
Usually, whenever people do that, they win. Especially if you're American.
It's true because people end up starving on the other side and dead because they dissented. Isn't that the thing though? I'd rather have a free government where I can actually exchange ideas and protest the government than a Marxist government where I can't. I don't know. I just
Yep.
I'm just saying. So okay.
I'm alone in that.
So
you didn't know that?
I'm alone in that? Oh,
yep. The rest of America does not feel the way you do.
They really don't. I learned that this week. A lot of people don't.
I have to say that people are very okay. Like, for instance, I was talking with somebody about the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And one of the things that everybody keeps saying is that, everybody is just stupid. Like, our entire United States is stupid because we could have been through this entire thing in 6 weeks if everybody would have just done their part and made sure that they had masks on and social distance and all this stuff or whatever.
Yeah, no.
I keep hearing that. And I don't per se disagree in some ways.
Freedom's a messy thing, Ozzy.
Right.
Freedom is a messy thing.
Because
and you know what? There's a price you pay for freedom.
Right. So what you're saying is that, you know what? Our ideas are so good that we have to mandate them and force you to do them.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
It may have been not a terrible idea, but once you get into that part and all of a sudden you're going, so you think that we should be able to force people to do anything?
I have said it on the show before 1,000 times. Freedom is an incredibly messy
thing. And all of a sudden you're endorsing Biden.
There you go. Please don't drop the mic. Don't drop the mic. No, it's.
See how I brought that around?
It's really frustrating.
Like that,
so Biden was asked this week if he was going to take a cognitive test.
Oh my goodness!
Did you see that?
I did.
That was quite the.
Okay, so I've also heard that he can't read teleprompters. I watched it.
I mean, that's kind of obvious.
I watched one of his little speeches. Like you thought that that the president was bad, that Trump was bad on this, and just he ad-libbed, which he does. I have to say, he is a terrible speech. Like, yeah.
Look, we're about to play the cognitive test interview.
But yes, but Biden just he seems to lose his train of thought.
Well,
it's like he's looking at the teleprompter, reading it, and then his mind just goes click over to this thing over here, and then he flashes back to it, and then he forgets he didn't finish it, or he just goes, "You guys know what I mean?" And it's like,
I'm
no, because you didn't finish your thought. Where are we going with it?
I'm very.
It's bad. It's bad.
I'm very sad for him.
He honestly has some very questionable mind games going on.
Yeah, so let's roll this video here.
Not mind games.
Please clarify specifically, have you taken a cognitive test?
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying you, before you got in this program, if you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say?
Drug tests do exist,
President
by the
Trump,
way.
Who brags about his test and makes your mental state an issue for voters?
Well, if he can't figure out the difference between an elephant and a lion, I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
What is
Did
his
you watch that?
analogy
Look,
there?
come on, man. I know you're trying to goad me, but I mean, I'm so forward looking to have an opportunity to sit with the president or stand with the president in debates.
Now, we asked the Biden campaign this morning if they wanted to add any additional context to those remarks, specifically comparing a mental test to being tested for cocaine. The campaign has not yet responded. The vice president
It's funny how much clarification they have to give now.
Yes.
Yes. Did you see this week the comments he made about the Hispanic community?
Where is he going with any of this? Where is he going? He doesn't finish. It's like he has a thought.
Yeah.
Who's the interviewer?
I just closed the screen. I don't know.
Oh, crud. Anyway, so the interviewer is from, what is it, ABC or NBC? Oh, crud. Anyway, the interviewer is
CBS Morning.
CBS is a black gentleman.
Yep.
And I think that threw Biden off.
Well,
because it shouldn't, according to his principles that he has. But did you notice he's like, come on, man. And I don't know if that's just him being interviewed by a young guy or if it actually had something to do with the color of the guy's skin, that he was kind of, I don't know. He all of a sudden became really weird in trying to like be hip and cool. And then he starts talking, and then he questions the guy about, did you have to take did they question you about your potential drug habits before they gave you your job? Like,
weird
question, but yeah, drug tests exist when you get jobs, just so you know. Usually you have to pass a background check and a drug test.
Most people don't know, unlike the African American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community.
Oh my gosh.
With incredibly different attitudes about different things.
Yeah, and then that comment.
Now,
what is he trying to say?
Now, the Biden campaign
where was he going with
came out
too?
Immediately afterwards, or the next day, I guess it was, and immediately issued a retraction. Or not a retraction, but a clarification.
Clarify.
A clarification.
We're not sorry, but we're going to clarify so you guys know how to interpret.
Says earlier today, I made some comments about diversity in the African American and Latino communities that I want to clarify.
Yes.
In no way did I mean to suggest that the African community is a monolith,
diverse.
Not by identity, not on issues, not at all. Wait, hold on. You just said that they were.
He's such an idiot.
You just said that. Okay, just say it. Say it's a misspeak. Okay, let's say it's a misspeak.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Just claim you made a mistake and say, you know what? This is not what I meant. I couldn't get the words out correctly.
But that doesn't
Here's what we were trying to say.
That doesn't go with the narrative or even what the Democratic Party does. The Democratic Party thinks they deserve black votes.
This goes along with his comment about, if you don't vote for me, you're not really black. Like,
he didn't say that, did he?
Yes, he did.
Really?
Yeah, he did.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got it right here.
Absolutely.
I've got it right here. That was May.
Yes.
That was May 2020. It says, well, I tell you what, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Biden, then he ain't black.
No, for me or Trump.
No, he said me or Biden. He said me or Biden. Yeah,
that was Joe Biden.
Yes,
that was not Trump.
That was Joe Biden. That was Joe Biden saying it.
Yeah. So it's like, wait, like, what are you talking about? They would have killed Trump. Trump would have been impeached over that comment.
Here,
like,
I've got a yes.
What is
yes,
up
he would
with
have.
this?
I've got a game I want to play with you. Here.
It's a horrible. All right, let's do it.
Okay. Oh no, you're right. It was me or Trump. The quote is wrong here. The quote is wrong.
So you're gonna admit that you made a mistake?
I will admit that I made a mistake. Well, no, I'm going to clarify. I'm going to clarify and say that no, I will fully admit my mistakes. Okay. 1977, Trump or Biden?
All right.
Okay, here we go. Unless we do something about this, my children are going to grow up in a jungle. The jungle being a racial jungle with tensions having built so high that it's going to explode at some point. We've got to make some move on this.
That one's Biden, I know.
Sure is.
It is, yeah.
A racial jungle?
That's terrible. He's so bad.
2006. Here.
How did he get to be the candidate? How?
I don't know.
How did he beat out all of these other people? Like there's no way. There's no way. They looked at him and they went, you know what? Here's who we want to do. And they literally pushed him forward.
We can sit here and yell about how racist Trump is.
There's nothing else.
He's never said anything like that.
No.
Okay?
I don't think he has.
Pretty
sure he hasn't.
I don't think so.
I don't remember. I would imagine that would have been really big news if he actually said something like that.
Here. 2006. I've had a great relationship. In Delaware, the largest growth in population is the Indian Americans moving from India. You can't go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking. Trump or Biden?
I want to say Biden because I don't think Trump's that stupid.
It's Biden.
But
it's Biden.
That was 2006?
2006.
Oh, my goodness.
2007.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, Trump or Biden, referring to the president. Because remember, Trump is a former Democrat, so you have to understand that this may be him talking here. You've got the first mainstream African American who's articulate, bright, and clean, and a nice looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
I'm assuming they're talking about Obama.
Yes, referring to Obama.
I want to say it's Trump, but again, I don't think Trump would say something like that because that sounds terrible.
Because it's racist,
right?
Yeah, it wasn't Trump. It was Biden.
Right. I mean, he was only his vice president. Nothing big. He's Obama's white friend.
Yeah. So, you know what slays me are the Obama Biden memes.
Yes,
aren't those amazing?
Great. Those are great. Have you noticed though? Seriously, with Obama, anytime he talks about Biden, he looks like he's cringing.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah. Again, this isn't about the party, or this isn't about the man. This is about the party.
Right. They want to win.
Yeah.
They want to win.
Okay. So, 2014, Biden or Trump? People would come to him and talk about what was happening to them at home in terms of foreclosures, in terms of bad loans they were being. I mean, these Shylocks who took advantage of these women and while overseas. This is referring to the Jews. I mean, it's talking about real estate, so maybe it's Trump.
Let's go with Trump. I'm pretty sure Biden.
No, it was Biden. It was Biden. It was Biden. It was Biden.
I'm not sure how many people will actually get that reference, though.
No, probably not. But you know what? Still
that may
needs
be
to be
why.
said.
When was that?
That was 2014.
It's probably because nobody understands the reference of Shylock.
Possibly not.
They would have jumped all over him had it been Trump, man. Well, not then, but they would have jumped all over him now.
Right. But see, there's your double standard.
Right.
There's your double standard.
But nobody was concerned about the Jews back in 2014.
They kind of were.
Do
But,
you know what I mean?
They
weren't on the top of everybody's mind.
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean?
I get it. And just so everyone knows, that is a reference to The Merchant of Venice by William Shakespeare.
Right.
He's a Venetian Jewish moneylender who's
very shrewd.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he's very, very shrewd. He's a very shrewd businessman who wants his literal pound of flesh.
Yes.
So
just wanted to clarify that for the audience.
Yeah.
2019, Trump or Biden? We should challenge.
I'm going to go with Trump.
Okay. We should challenge students in these schools. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you can't do it. Poor kids are just as bright and talented as white kids.
That one I know is Biden.
Yeah, that is.
I've heard that one. Again, the man does not know what he's saying. He may not mean what he's saying, but he's not clarifying after the fact, saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I should not have said it that way."
2020, July 2020. Now, this is obviously Biden. Trump is wrong to hold China accountable for COVID-19 because Americans aren't able to distinguish between South Korean and someone from Beijing.
I'm sorry? What?
Trump is wrong to hold China accountable for COVID-19 because Americans aren't able to distinguish between South Korean and someone from Beijing.
So because you can't distinguish between two different Asian ethnicities, you can't blame China? What is he saying? What does that even mean?
Number one, Americans are stupid. Number two,
I can't wholeheartedly disagree that he's inaccurate in his statement that probably most Americans couldn't tell the difference between.
No, they probably can't.
A Chinese person and a Korean person. I would assume maybe per se, but I don't really. What does that have to do with China though? Getting blamed for something that they created and
who knows? I don't know. There is a 47-minute video out of all of Biden's gaffes. I watched about 10 minutes of it and couldn't take it any longer.
It's bad. Dude, it's so bad. It's so bad. And how are they pushing this guy? How are they still pushing this man?
I don't know.
He is.
It's all about the party. So the
losing his mind.
The only thing I can think of, Ozzy, is that they didn't think they could win, and we're like, "Oh, let's throw Joe in there. He'll be fine."
Do you think now?
And now they're like, "Oh my goodness, he's got a chance."
Personally, what I think they're going to do is I think they're going to give him. I think his vice president is going to be. I don't know who it's going to be, but.
We do know several things. Number one, she has to be a she, and number two has to be African American.
I've heard that it's going to be the Mayor Lance Bottoms from Atlanta.
Really?
Yes, that's the latest. That's the latest that I heard. It's going to be her. So
interesting.
We'll see. She's a little bit of an unknown. As far as politics wise, the only reason I know her is because of Atlanta.
So
my folks are down there,
right? So I don't.
Attention, but that's about it. I haven't known her for anything else, though.
As of this point, I am still pulling for Kanye West, because he's the least crazy of all of them, which says an awful lot about the situation we're in.
Keisha Lance Bottoms.
But man, like, I think Trump's gonna win this.
I think so too.
There are a lot of people out there.
Although Biden, did you see his wife was like calling people out?
No,
because they were asking whether or not he was. I believe it was his wife. They were asking whether or not he was going to be able to debate Trump.
Yes,
whether he was scared to or not, and his wife was like, "He'll do it. He'll be fine." It'll, and like starts going off. It's pretty funny, but I don't know, man. If he debates like he does anything else that he does.
Well, they
even
can't.
with a
They can't.
teleprompter.
They can't put him in a debate, otherwise
gonna be bad.
he'll be destroyed.
It's going to be so bad.
Not that Trump is any better in the debates.
Dude, but compared to
Yeah,
Biden,
I know.
Compared to Biden, Trump is a genius.
What do you think about the possibility of last minute they pull him from the race?
Who, Biden?
Yeah.
And
I mean,
replace him with
he's a
who?
presumptive nominee. They haven't had the convention yet.
Who else would they push?
I mean,
Are they pushing to lose? Or are they going to push to try and win?
I think they gain more by losing.
I kind of have to say I agree with you.
I've had this theory, and this stems from my pessimism of the political systems. Just like I don't think that the Republican Party actually cares about the right for life, and anti-abortion.
Okay.
I think they use it as a platform to make money. Same with the Second Amendment. I mean, we're seeing that right now with the NRA in New York right now.
Mm-hmm.
That whole situation is an absolute debacle. And look, if the NRA is using funds in misappropriate ways, great. Like not in great, but let's take care of it.
Yeah.
However,
nail them.
Nail them, absolutely.
Right, nail them.
I mean, I haven't supported the NRA in years because I noticed some very sketchy stuff going on. Just watching things happen, I didn't like it. And have they ever actually done anything for gun rights? No.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Because you would think that if you were really, really, and I'm not saying they aren't wholeheartedly, but you would think that, like, where would be the place that you would try to get gun laws passed and different rights, passed and approved? You would think you would go to really limited states like New York, New Jersey, the places that are super tight, California, the places that are super tight on gun laws. You would think you would be fighting your battles there, because if you win a battle there, that opens everything up.
And then people might actually start talking to you again.
Right.
So no, they haven't won anything.
You're not, you're like in states that you're really not fighting a lot of harsh criticism.
No,
But,
I mean,
hey,
look, they didn't bat a blind eye to the whole bump stock ban, which bump stocks are stupid to begin with. They turn your gun into an automatic quote unquote automatic which they don't do. It's inertia. It's an inertia. You can do it without a bump stock. Okay. Fire multiple rounds per pull. And you're not actually pulling the trigger multiple times. You are pulling the trigger once. You're pulling it multiple times.
Right.
It's literally, it's a spring system that is bouncing the gun off your shoulder and your fingers moving ever so slightly. And they didn't even look at that. They didn't care. And so anyways, I'm convinced that the Republicans and the Democrats, they are perpetuating their brand. And so they're giving us just enough hope to make us think that they like us and that they think they want our votes. I mean, it was Hunger Games. I don't know if you've seen that or watched.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
President Snow sits there and says, got to give him a little bit of hope. That's what it's all about. If you give them just a little bit of hope, they won't revolt.
AKA stimulus check.
There you go. Round 2 is coming up.
What's happening with that?
It's stalled out right now. It's stalled out.
Oh well.
They're not pushing it much right now.
Sad day.
I have mixed emotions about it. I mean, things are tight. Yeah. Things are real tight for a lot of people. And it's a situation the government created. I'm in the same boat. I'm in the same boat I'm in last time. We're at 10% unemployment right now. 10% unemployment.
Yep.
I
New
mean,
Jersey
dude,
it's really bad in New Jersey.
It's not good looking down the road.
Yeah. Yep.
And
we'll see what happens with this whole COVID thing. If it starts rising up again, they're going to even get tighter.
My biggest issue with the COVID thing is the numbers per 100,000.
Oh, right.
We're literally talking about like
New Jersey.
We're talking about like 5 cases per 100,000.
You want to talk about ridiculousness? So New Jersey, if it is, it's
100 cases per 100,000 in our area.
10 cases per 100,000 equals New Jersey restricting travel to your state.
Wait,
10.
what?
10 per 100,000.
Good grief.
If it's over 10 per 100,000. Isn't that insane?
That's ridiculous.
So we have 36 states that we're supposed to quarantine if we go to those states and come back. Optional quarantine, quotes.
Right.
Yeah, so it's I believe
man.
it's 10 if you have over 10 per 100,000. My governor has decided that that's the number.
I don't know. I'm convinced that I am about 99% sure Trump's going to win again. I think there's a lot of people out there. Look, 70% of people are not willing to say what they're thinking politically right now. 70% of I say conservatives in very big quotes because most conservatives are not conservative anymore. They're moderates at best. But it's like you sit there and you look at that and it's like, why would I answer a poll? I wouldn't answer a poll calling me right now.
Dude, they keep calling me.
I wouldn't answer them. Like, I'm just not going to do it.
I would like to talk to you about the situation in America that's happening right now and get your opinion on it. No.
Sorry, I've got a job. I got to work.
No.
I don't care.
Have you heard of oh crud, what's that website? Keep talking, give me a minute.
Yeah, I'm talking. Okay. So the weather outside is frightful and it's really delightful. Wait, we can't sing that song. We can't talk about that because that's a bad song. No, so I'm convinced Trump wins. I think the polls are also very off. I think there's a lot of people who are going to be voting. Now, granted, there's a lot of people who are also declaring they're not going to vote for Trump at this point as well. But I think there's a lot of people who aren't going to vote for Biden either.
Have you heard of unwoke.hr?
Oh, no.
I stumbled upon this last night, actually. I was watching stuff. I went down the YouTube channel of something.
Wow. Yes, that's incredible.
It's insanely fun. I think it's fun. So what unwoke.hr is it is a jobs website for specifically targeted towards people who do not want to be woke and hiring people who do not want to be woke. They just want to do their jobs. They want to be left alone. They don't want to have politics involved.
So basically, they're not activists. They don't care about being activists.
Yes.
So
yes, and they don't care. They don't care about being activists, and they don't care about their job being activists.
I would argue that everyone needs to be "quote unquote" woke, in a sense, but there's bad woke and there's good woke, and there's crazy woke and there's Karen woke. But I can still get behind this. I mean,
it's an interesting concept. Now, supposedly they're not politically charged in any way. They don't lean left or right. They're just, it's jobs posted there for employers that just want employees to come in and do their jobs and then go home. And the employers are the same way, where it's like they don't really want to be activists towards one thing or the other. They just want to sell their product and go home,
No kidding. There's a lot of good stuff here.
It's an interesting thing. So
there's solid stuff.
Out.
I mean, there's
check it out. I know
$120,000 a year, lead motion graphics designer, lead editor.
Yeah, it's really
video production manager at a political agency. Wait a second.
I mean, maybe.
Senior property accountant. Just say hi. I don't think that.
So here is their I guess their mission, their work. So unwoke work. The modern workplace has become a hotspot for unchallenged radical thinking and left-wing ideology. Our mission is to advance society based on culture of enlightenment, beauty, truth, and freedom through free market initiatives. First up, unwoking work. And yeah, and then they go through basically saying again what I just said, where it's just they just want to hire folks who want to do a job and not change the entire face of their political opinions.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I thought it was cool. Anyway.
Yeah,
so.
no, I'm fascinated. Like it is, it's fascinating. We live in a day to day where everything is politicized, and even your jobs. If you don't toe that line, you run the risk of.
And one of the things that they were talking about on this was the fact that, you know, one of the big things that that everybody's always trying to do is, you know, you're just trying to hire the best talent possible, quote unquote, for these big companies. But you're still asking, okay, so what's your race? What's your age? What's your gender? What's everything else? But they don't ever ask, like, what's your experience? Like, so apparently this website, it doesn't go off of any gender, like anything. So it won't ask you, you know, what your race is, what your gender is. It goes off of, are you qualified for this job? And can you do it?
Merit-based hiring. We believe in principles of merit and best ideas and the most competent people. Which, again, who cares what your political leanings are?
Right.
Who cares?
Can you do the job, and are you the best option for whatever company's trying to hire you?
Yes.
Not are you a male? Are you a female? Are you diverse? Are you not diverse? Do you have this many of this type of people, this many of this type of people? It's a blank slate of, we get whoever we get. If they're qualified to do the job, hire them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I'm a fan, man. I like it.
I thought it was kind of a cool website. So
that's cool.
It is unwoke.hr. You can check that out if anybody is interested.
You're welcome, woke.hr for the plug. Unwoke.hr.
Unwoke. Yeah, don't say
unwoke.
What's woke?
Is there a woke.hr? You gotta look it up. Look it up.
Hold on. Let's see.
Tell me it exists. It's gonna be the counter suit for that.
I don't see one.
Oh, because that'd be crazy.
Yeah, I don't see one.
We'll be right back.
Oh, well, it's really quite funny. I was in bed sleeping at 2 o'clock this morning. My wife comes in and says, oh, the shop's been, someone ran into the shop. And I said, oh, what? So I jumped out of bed and all I had was my undies on, and I've walked out the front and I've seen the car smashed, and I've seen the bloke walking back to the car. Oh, well, I tried stopping him and say, hey, mate, don't be taking off, like you've just crashed into the shop. Oh, and he goes, oh, mate, I fell asleep behind the wheel. And I'm like, yeah, righto, mate. Well, you still don't be fleeing the scene. And he goes, don't be a hero, mate. I wasn't trying to be a hero. I was just chasing him down the street. And
you ran down the street in your jocks?
Yeah, in my undies. Yeah, correct. Chasing him down the street in my undies, and then he started getting too far. And I'm like, oh, well, I better catch up to him quicker and come back home and drop my car. And started chasing him up the street in my little purple car.
You know, all good superheroes wear their jocks on the outside, so it kind of fits the brief, pardon the pun.
Yeah, but I had nothing on bar me jocks.
I would bet you in our political climate, you could get arrested for chasing after somebody.
Oh, you think? I guarantee you.
Yeah.
I'm going to start out this segment by just saying, dang it, Jerry. Dang it, Jerry.
What is he doing? What is happening? What in the world? Liberty, what is happening?
Jerry Falwell Jr.,
dude,
president
of he has lost his ever-loving mind.
Liberty University, son of famed televangelist and founder of Thomas Road Baptist Church and Liberty University, Jerry Falwell Sr. Jerry Jr. is not, you know, he always seems to have a little bit of controversy following him. I mean, a couple years ago, there was something going on like with a pool boy and a lawsuit, and his wife was involved, and a gay hostel in Miami. And then last summer, there was an incident with a nightclub where there was a whole lot of photos of the family at the nightclub. Like, he was there with his kids and stuff and his wife. Like a ruckus nightclub. And then you have Avenatti, not Avenatti. Yeah, Michael Avenatti. No, not Avenatti. Michael Cohen. Lawyer Michael Cohen saying he's got compromising photos of Jerry, possibly including Jerry Jr.
That's okay. The entire world now has compromising photos.
Well, right. And in fact, Jerry Jr. gave them to the world via his Instagram account.
Oh, my goodness. What
Jerry,
in the world, Jerry?
Jerry the other day. And now, see, here's the thing. Dang it, Jerry.
Does he not know he's not Tony Stark? It's like, what is going on?
Jerry,
what is going on?
Jerry posted a whole bunch of vacation photos of his family and friends,
which is fine.
That's great. They took a yacht out on
in the initial. It's fine.
Right,
Other
sounds
than he looks
great.
like he's very rich.
Right, which he is. He is. He makes a cool $1 million a year. He's the second highest paid administrator in Virginia. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
it is the largest Christian school in the world.
University
in the world.
Get it right.
Sorry. So I understand. I understand that he's being paid. I understand that. Like I'm okay with that.
Right.
Flaunting it though seems a little odd. Okay. Which he seems to do. He spends a lot of time down in Miami, owns stuff down there, and is out on a yacht with his friends and family.
Right.
And so they're posting lots of pictures of the events and one
random videos too.
Random videos of a quote unquote trailer park boys costume party.
Don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either, but I looked it up and it's a movie or something.
Oh.
It's a movie of some sort.
He probably is one of the only ones who actually thought the movie was funny.
It's like some redneck movie or something.
It's a Canadian
TV
series.
Okay. Right. So this was a party based on that.
Which no one would ever understand because they looked like they were dressed in normal everyday clothing.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, they look Canadian. So
we're sorry, Canada.
Yeah, we apologize, Canada. We just insulted you again. And so they were doing some costume party for that, and not to say anything was questionable, but I mean, they all had cigarettes. And they all had alcohol.
Yeah. And he was drinking, what is it?
Which is a dry school
water?
He claimed
black water? What is it?
So I was referring to the video, which all of them were holding drinks. But in the picture, in the questionable picture,
right,
he's holding what he claimed was black water.
What is that? Is that
so? That's an energy drink of some sort, or an alkaline drink, supposedly. But I can tell you, it didn't look like that.
No, it didn't look.
It didn't look like that. And so he's posing in a picture, with who is supposedly his wife's assistant. They're both wearing, what would you call it? Crop tops, kind of. The shirts are raised over their bellies.
Yeah, she is pregnant.
She's pregnant. She's pregnant. Her shorts are not buttoned. Because she's pregnant, and
supposedly that was,
according to his excuse, he claimed that
it's a terrible excuse.
He claimed that she couldn't button her pants, I couldn't button my pants because I'm fat, and so we just took a photo together. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it a little bit from the standpoint of, okay, so say you're really, really, really close friends and you take some stupid photo. I get it, but don't post it.
Posting it?
But third of all, like he's not like he's always involved in something controversial.
He's also a president of a university.
I know.
How old is this guy?
58. 58 years old.
So he's 58 years old.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? What is going on? He is a president of a university, and he's taking pictures that could be called into question very quickly.
Oh, easy.
That's the problem.
And my biggest thing is based on his history.
Right.
And the claims of
Right. And then,
compromising photos and nightclubs and gay hostels and everything.
And then he calls into a morning radio show and tries to explain himself while he sounds very hungover or still potentially drunk.
So
he does not sound good.
That being the very bizarre thing, I'm trying to find the link here to that
It
what
sounded very
Tombstone
bad.
sent us.
Yeah, it sounded very bad.
Where is that link? Can you?
I don't know.
Can we find that real quick? Because I think that's very important. And I forgot to rip that audio.
All right.
It was before we were ripping on Jeff.
Hold on.
Got to go back, 1,000 messages.
No, you actually only have to go back like 20.
Oh, I found it. Yeah, that's not that far.
Yeah. Shockingly. So he calls into this radio show the next day, I guess. I'm not sure. Maybe it was a couple days after.
It was a couple days. It was, I guess, the day after it happened.
And so he calls into this radio show, and he honestly just sounds drunk. He sounds drunk because he tries to explain it. And I don't know exactly what he sounds like per se, because I don't think I've ever really watched anything with him in it. But it sounds bad. He's not doing well. And then Liberty put him on a indefinite leave of absence at this point, which again, just saying,
what does that mean?
Just is he getting paid?
I assume he is.
I'm assuming he's getting paid, and he's getting paid until they figure out what to do with him, probably. Because I would imagine that if the board has gone this far to put him on this leave of absence, that he's probably pretty done with. Because you can't have a face of a university doing this kind of stuff, especially a Christian university, quote unquote.
Right.
If you want to get into it, like
here's the audio.
That looks bad.
Here's
she couldn't get her pants.
Here.
What was up with that picture on Instagram?
It was weird because she's pregnant, so she couldn't get her pants zipped, and so I was like trying to I had on a pair of jeans that I haven't worn in a long time, so I couldn't get mine zipped either. And so I just put my belly out like hers, and it was just she's my wife's assistant, and she's a sweetheart, and I should never put it up because it embarrassed her. Because anyway, I've apologized to everybody, and I promised my kids I'm gonna try to be a good boy from here on out.
All right, so and this is TV
what
show
does that even mean?
Right?
What does that even mean?
Why would he use that terminology?
I'm gonna be a good boy from here on out.
Maybe he's gonna be Biden's running mate.
Dude,
it's so bad. It's so bad. I don't know what of the terms, it sounded like he was actually going to a good spot. You know what? I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. That was stupid. Other than the fact that he sounds inebriated. Yes.
I get it. He's on a morning show. He's trying to be funny.
And then all of a sudden he's like, I've been a bad boy and I'm going to try not to be a bad boy. Wait, what? Who uses that terminology at 58 years old?
Who uses that terminology past 12?
Right? I mean, yeah. So I don't know. He seems kind of like he's going off the deep end of this. So, yeah.
He's nuts.
I don't know. I really don't know. But all I know is they're going to connect him with Trump somehow, and they're going to take Trump down with him. That's my prediction.
Oh, can anyone find a picture of his yacht?
Ooh. Does he actually own the yacht, or does
I don't know. Someone's like, can anyone actually find a picture of his wife?
Yowza.
Ouch.
Yowza.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Needless to say, if you're president of a university, you would not be wanting to get yourself in this type of situation. If you're president of a Christian university, you're probably done.
Unless you're Jerry.
Yeah, I just
I see. I think that's the problem. Like, the board has for years not cared what he did. Look, he has been projecting himself into the whole political thing for a while, and it's been really weird. Like defending Trump to no end, and that's disturbed me a bit. And then all the scandals, all this,
it's bad.
I don't get it, man.
It's bad.
It's real disturbing, but
yeah, it's just
dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
Dang it, Jerry! Dang it!
Unemployment is low because everyone has 2 jobs.
She got them realtor eyes.
We're gonna flip this seat red in November.
I can always tell by realtor eyes. She got them.
I think she's living in banana land.
I am not the expert on geopolitics.
I think that there's a lot of people more concerned about being precisely, factually, and semantically correct than about being morally right.
How are you the boss for coming up with a plan that doesn't work?
Is it okay to still have children?
I personally believe some people out there in our nation don't have that, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and
I kind of feel bad about putting that in there because I think Miss South Carolina is a lot better than
that poor girl. I've done that before where it's just like you can't think of what you're trying to say and you have to say something.
I know.
I do it all
the hazards of public speaking.
Yeah, I do it all the time on the show where it's just like, my thoughts are gone. I don't know what I'm saying, and I'm just gonna go with the Iraq and such as in and so forth.
I think it's a talent though, because I think it's a talent we have, because we actually sound a quarter way intelligent when we're just bull crapping on the air,
sometimes,
just making stuff up.
Sometimes.
I've never.
We sound way more intelligent with Jeff and Tombstone.
Well, it's true. That's for sure. It's true. Thanks, guys. Thanks for leaving us on this one.
Unless we're talking about belt loops, then
we know what we're talking about.
Then it's done. Everything's just done. None of us sound relevant at all. It's like, yep, it's just completely done. So,
my goodness.
So,
by the way,
Tombstone's gonna have belt loops after this weekend.
He probably won't. It's his anniversary.
That has got to be the first question for next week's episode.
So do you still have belt loops, buddy?
Do you still have belt loops? Oh my gosh, yes. Call him and see.
I'm gonna text him right now.
Put him on the air.
I'm gonna.
We should just call him from the. Can we call him from our
I
phone?
wish I can't. I can't do it. I know. I don't have it set up.
Dang it! Tell him it's an emergency and that he needs to call the line for like 2 minutes so we can ask him a question real quick.
I'm working on it.
He's probably on his motorcycle.
Tombstone, it's an emergency.
Hopefully he doesn't.
Can you
hopefully
call?
He doesn't stop on the side of the road. His wife will kill him.
This is horrible. This is horrible. This is amazing and horrible all at the same time.
We are terrible people. Where were we going with this?
Well, we were talking about Andrea Ocasio-Cortez not getting an invite to the Democratic National Convention.
Oh yeah, that's completely how that went. Yeah. Did she not? That's not good. How sad.
1-402-799-18.
She's too woke for them. That's what it is. Like they're not radical enough for her. Like to
no, they Clinton's have a speaking invite though, and so do the Obamas.
Well, that's because they didn't want. Yeah.
But
I can tell you why, but I don't want to say.
But speaking of radical Marxism, I stumbled across this article from Teen Vogue, which sounds horrible. An eviction crisis is coming. We need to treat housing as a right.
Are they going to pay for my house?
Well, let's
so
dive,
that I can
let's
live
dive
in
into
it?
this. This is an article by Candace Mallet.
Candace?
Otherwise known by me as the Hammer.
You call her the Hammer?
I call her the Hammer. I don't know, because Mallet. Candace Mallet.
Oh, I get it. Oh.
Yeah, sorry. It's been 4 months since I'm reading this from Teen Vogue. It's been 4 months since the onslaught.
Teen Vogue.
Teen Vogue, yes.
We're stupid low for this one. I'm just saying.
Just listen to this. This is. You got to listen to this.
All right, I'm listening.
It's been 4 months since the onslaught of the coronavirus pandemic first highlighted the failures of capitalism and the incompetence of the United States government. I'll go with that second part.
They might have a point on the second one, yeah.
I'll go with that second part. There was an opportunity for our country to become less horrible. Wait, what? Huh? Less horrible?
What are we talking about now?
There was an opportunity for our country to become less horrible, to finally deal with some of our institutional failings.
The people that weren't here?
This, of course, did not happen. Now, hold on. Okay. Failures of capitalism.
There's a pandemic.
You have food in your house.
It happens.
No one is starving. If you want a job, you can start one. You can literally create a job. But failures of capitalism. Never mind. Incompetence in the United States. I'll get behind that one. There are a lot of those, and I think they've dropped the ball on a lot of this stuff.
How old is this writer? By the way,
I'm not sure.
Curiosity.
I'm not sure.
Candace Mallet.
Candace.
Sorry.
Yes, K with a K.
It's with a K. Yeah.
Yep.
Look up this person.
Less horrible, despite abolishing slavery.
Well.
So.
Candace. That's a really unique name.
I have not heard back from Tombstone yet, unfortunately.
Bummer.
Okay, continuing on here. Congress did not rise to the occasion, providing or even seriously considering necessary transformational policies like the universal basic income.
Oh, here we go.
Universal health care.
Oh, here we go.
Rent suspension or debt forgiveness.
Wait, they did rent suspension.
They didn't do rent.
States, depending on their
states. Some states did it, and it was.
But that's not a congressional.
It was eviction.
That's not a congressional thing.
Yeah, it was.
Because in New Jersey right now, you don't actually have to pay your rent. I mean, you'll have to pay it eventually.
But you have to pay it back in later.
Yeah.
Right, because it's rent.
Right.
So
you can't just live there for free because the person who is lending out that house or that apartment has to pay bills with that.
Now just hold on. The crap is about to get deeper. Instead, they gave us crumbs of a one-time payment of $1,200 and $600 extra for unemployment for those who qualified. While many well-connected, including several lawmakers themselves, cashed in via the PPP for small business.
Which you probably should.
Right.
Again. Would you like to keep your small business or not?
Right. So, it goes on. While we're working to abolish the police, we must work to dismantle what the police are put here to protect. Property. Wait, what?
What? Wait, read that again.
While we are working to abolish the police, we must also work to dismantle what the police are here to protect. Property.
So she doesn't want the police to protect anybody's property.
No, because property is
owned by everyone.
Is owned by everyone. It should not be just what is more evident of the legacy of settler colonialism and its violence than the nature of than the idea of ownership of land. What helped shape the unequal distribution of wealth and enduring segregation of our cities, quite like centuries of racist property laws.
What?
As millions of people, particularly Black and Latinx Americans. Yes.
Hold on.
Yes.
So I'm racist because me and my wife have
own a
worked
house
really hard and have bought a house with our money.
Yes, you're a racist.
And secured a loan to pay back.
Yes.
That makes me racist.
Yes.
as opposed to the black family down the road that did the exact same thing and they're racist too?
Well, again, critical race theory. You're white. You're a racist.
Right. So why is that racist?
Just don't. No. You're racist. You're racist. See, this is where you need to go back and listen to that segment on the show last week because it's critical. It's the critical front porch show theory.
This is obviously written by someone who has never even remotely lived outside of Los Angeles.
No, it's written by a teenager who has never actually had a job.
I don't know, actually, because I'm not entirely sure she is.
Is she not? She
is a senior political editor at Bavelty.
Good heavens, is even worse than I thought it was.
Bavity?
Seriously, it's even worse than I thought it was.
But she's been writing since 2018. My guess would be that she's in her 20s. That would be my guess.
Shocking.
Probably right out of college.
Which means she's mad at the idea of paying rent on her minuscule salary.
Right, that she's probably living in Los Angeles paying like $8,000 a month to live in downtown LA or something like that. Yeah.
Right, because, you got to... Okay. They're calling private housing and the role it plays in economic violence in these communities. I'm not going to read the whole article.
So here's my question.
That's the case in Los Angeles where I live.
I just got
That's what it says here. That's what it says here.
I told you it was Los Angeles. Called it.
You get a gold star.
I had no idea, and I
called gold freaking star.
So I just got my tax. My municipality tax thing, right? 54% of my taxes goes to public school.
Okay.
54%.
54%.
Okay.
Yep.
So we don't public school our children.
Right.
Because we homeschool our children.
Yeah.
Because we are lucky enough to be able to do that and blessed enough that we can have money to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And we work.
You could have 50. You could have 50% more if you didn't have to pay for that tax.
Right. We work very hard and sacrifice very much to do that. So I'm assuming is a renter. So how much money do renters pay in taxes every single year for property taxes?
You mean the permission to occupy your government-owned property? Because don't pay your taxes and you'll figure out who owns the property.
No. But so in New Jersey, renters, right?
Right.
So renters, how much do they pay in property tax each year?
Absolutely zero.
Zero. Which means they aren't paying for the public schools, for the fire, for the police, for any of that stuff. That's me.
Yeah, I know.
That's homeowner right here who does not participate in one of those things.
Well, they're paying through their rent, Ozzy.
No, they're not.
Well, ultimately they're paying through their rent.
Ultimately, yeah, but they're only paying so much. They're not paying as much as I am.
Right. No,
so
that's true.
They're paying maybe 2 to 5% of what I'm paying.
Maybe.
So why am I not getting 95% more privileges?
Because it's a tax, and you don't get to determine that.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. Just saying. So why don't we take away all of the property and then raise the taxes for all of the renters because you don't have property taxes going in because everybody owns the property.
Well, yeah, I guess you could look at it that way, or you could also look at it as the fact of these owners have mortgages to pay. They have maintenance bills to pay. They have every other bill to pay. God, this is crazy, okay? I'm riding on a bus through Cuba, and the guy starts telling us about the property seizures of 1969, or maybe it was 59, under Fidel Castro, and how every single building was then taken from their owners and given to the people who lived in the units.
Right. And what happened to them?
A lot of the buildings are falling in on themselves.
Right, because nobody's taking care
because
of
how can everyone in a building agree to repair such and such,
right,
or do such and such, or paint such and such?
Why would I agree to fix the air conditioner or whatever if it cost $5,000 and nobody else wanted to do it out of the other 60 tenants?
Right.
So it's like, okay, everybody could pay $100 and we could get it done if there's 50 tenants.
Yeah.
But what happens if only 25 of them want to pay? Or what happens if only 5 of them want to pay?
Again, and then
it's
what you are describing here, Ozzy, is the reason why Marxism, communism, socialism, everything related to its angry little nasty forefather Marxism, it will not work. It will not work because there's no incentive.
But I read an article that said that it's not the same.
Ozzy?
It's not the same as everybody thinks it is. It's not trying to kill everybody. It's not trying to do everything. And look at all of the European countries that have socialist governments, and they still, quote from whatever the article it was that I was reading, they still vote in the people that they want.
So
and those people always step down whenever their terms
so
are done.
here's the thing. Scandinavia
until they
tried
turn into Venezuela.
Scandinavia tried the socialism thing. Okay, now this is the ugly little secret that progressives,
but
and
that's
Marxists
that's not
want
the same socialist.
Hold on.
It's not, because if it was real socialism, it would have worked, Aaron.
Well, Scandinavia works. Scandinavia works according to them. Remember, they raised Scandinavia, Denmark, Sweden, Finland as popular examples of why socialism will work. Now, they socialized everything. The country socialized. And do you know what happened after that? They realized that people didn't have incentives. And they had to back away from this. They had to back away.
Right, because why would I do
as
much work as this person if I'm getting paid the same amount as this person?
And so here's the thing.
Why would I do
the
more?
problem is that Marxism assumes that every job is of equal value.
Right.
Every job is of equal value. So the doctor is the same value
as the cashier.
And so everyone gets paid the same. It doesn't matter that your job is much more stressful. It doesn't matter that, you're literally taking people's lives in your hand.
Right.
But you're getting equally paid because that's what you do, and it's for the good of society.
And then everybody looks at that and goes, why would I put that extra stress and pressure on myself if there is no reward?
Why the hell would you be anything but a bagger? What a grocery bagger? I wouldn't.
Right.
I absolutely wouldn't.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to.
Exactly.
Heck, give me a job weeding a garden. That sounds much better.
Yep.
I'll be the dude that changes the
do the real anything really low stress and really not physical.
Dude, yeah.
That's exactly like be the guy in the office that all he has to do is push this one button.
So all of a sudden,
George Jetson that stuff.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, there you go. Boop. So all of a sudden, because of this, because there's no incentive to perform, because there's no incentive to do more stuff,
the country starts going downhill.
The country starts going downhill. Country goes downhill. There's no innovation because there's no benefit to innovating.
And then all of a sudden, you're buying a loaf of bread for $30,000.
All of a sudden, preppers weren't so crazy, were they?
I mean,
oh, yes, we were. Yeah. Yes, we were. We still were. No, I'm sitting here looking at this, and look, I get it. We can make the argument that in a perfect world, Marxism may work, but I would argue even then you can't. Even in a perfect world, a person gets paid what they're worth.
Right. There is no Star Trek.
No, there's not.
Sadly,
there's not.
That doesn't work.
No, this idea that
it's the perfect utopian society where.
But even if the perfect utopia existed, right? it still wouldn't be right.
No, the perfect utopia does exist, and it is right. It's called North Korea.
Venezuela.
No. North Korea.
North Korea. That's right.
Venezuela doesn't know what they're talking about.
Marxism.
They did it wrong. That's what I can't stand is every single time one of these fails, oh, well, they didn't do it
right. It's not the right way.
Okay.
How many times do you have to fail?
So what's the right way? And why don't you show us how to do it and prove
Go
that
somewhere
your
and prove it.
hypothesis and theories actually work? Do it.
See, the funny thing is the only way you can enact a true Marxist society is in a free society.
Yeah.
You can only come into a free society, demand it go Marxist. Like that's the only way of doing it. You cannot go into a Marxist society and try to make it more Marxist and fix it.
Right.
Because the only way to fix it is capitalism. Capitalism has brought more people out of poverty than any other system of government or any other system of economics in the history of humanity. Look at the standard of living in countries that have allowed capitalism to thrive. South Korea, for instance. South Korea is a stark, raving contrast to North Korea. You have China, who
nobody can tell the difference between South Korea and China.
Communist. But do you know what they had to do? They had to embrace capitalism when it comes to business.
Listen, I made a joke and it was hilarious.
I blew past. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Completely breezed
I
over
apologize.
It's fine.
Forgive me,
It's
Ozzy,
fine.
for I have sinned.
You need to listen because nobody cares, because no Americans that are listening to this program can tell the difference between South Korea and China.
It's true. It's true. They can't. So I guess it doesn't matter.
It's the same country, basically.
I know. As you look through the world, look at Russia. Russia, amazing country as far as the people go. Government, not so much. But those people are poor. Those people are dirt poor. And why? Oh, wait. Marxism. As you look all over the world, any country that has embraced Marxism has either stopped, put the brakes on, and backed away from it in order to improve things, or has imploded.
But you gotta
like
understand,
Venezuela.
These people are not doing that because they are not rationally thinking through it. If you want to try Marxism, try it.
Well, no,
Go ahead and try it.
Rationalism is dead.
Right.
No one,
Go ahead and
no one,
try it. Go
no
ahead
one.
and try it. But the problem is that when it fails, you're going to dig your heels in and you're going to take the entire country down with you while screaming, "It'll work."
It'll work. We just have to wait longer.
Right.
We just have to wait.
It's like trying to bail out the Titanic and everybody else is jumping off. Don't jump off. It'll be fine. Yep. And then all of a sudden, you know, your boyfriend sinks into the sea.
We are
because
seeing...
there wasn't enough room on the raft. What in the world? What is wrong with you, man?
Not only...
She should feel ashamed of herself. There was so much room on that raft.
It's okay.
She just didn't want a husband. That's all it was. She was like, I got to figure out how to get rid of this boy before we get into port.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a good time to break into some Celine Dion there. It's so weird that I just had that on my mind.
Rose, you should be ashamed.
Yeah,
I can jump on the bandwagon of anything, man.
I know. I am incredibly frustrated. And then you've got the NBA literally bending over backwards for China.
The NBA, nobody cares.
Okay,
I'm curious about sports. What do you think's going to happen with sports? Do you think China's just going to take over the NBA?
We are seeing right now. We're seeing Hollywood, and we are seeing the NBA, and we are seeing everyone else self-censoring for China because they have a 1 billion-person market.
Yep.
It's a billion people. So we're
right.
fine with communism as long as they're paying.
Right. Because we're 250 million.
So we're more than happy. We're more than happy to speak out against the United States because there's only a quarter of the profit share.
Right.
Follow the money. Follow the money.
The money.
Like if that wasn't a more poignant thing to say during this year.
I think you meant poignant.
Poignant thing to say. What did I say? Poignant.
You said poignant.
Poignant thing to say during 2020. During 2020. Follow the money. Follow the dang money. You follow the money, you find out who's complicit.
Yep. That's true.
Which was just happened to be the board of Liberty University. Complicit in Jerry's sins. Yeah, I went there. Follow the money. They paid him. No, I'm like literally we're sitting there seeing the NBA protest what has given the NBA such a platform. Like we've literally America has given you the platform.
You can't do anything. You can't do anything. That irks me so
America has given you the platform and you're like, no, look, we can't say anything bad about what's going on in Hong Kong.
Nope.
These poor people. I saw something the other day about how young Chinese people are embracing communism to bring.
I saw that.
I'm like, excuse me? Did you not see Hong Kong? And that was, I think it was the Washington, I think it was Washington Times or Washington Post put that out. That young people in China are embracing the Communist Party. And this was Washington Post. Trump views China's Communist Party as a threat.
Yeah. You think?
Young Chinese see it as the ticket to a better future.
Oh.
Washington Post, no, they don't.
Yeah.
Did you not see Hong Kong?
Yeah, but they're not Chinese anymore, right?
Well, they're South Korean, I think.
They could be.
We don't know.
Like seriously, dude. Seriously, have you seen like the economic difference between Hong Kong and China?
Yes.
Just literally right across the border of Hong Kong and China.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy. And you're like, so you want this you want to step back 40 years into the past? 50 years into the past?
Does no one remember Tiananmen Square?
Oh. No. That's history, man. We don't like history anymore. We apparently don't like Hong Kong's...
Who do not study history are doomed to repeat it. Hong Kong hasn't made the news in weeks.
No, it actually has.
Has it?
Hong Kong officials condemn and mock Trump administration for sanctions. Trump does not like their leader.
Well, yeah, of course.
Probably.
So the Communist Party shows up in Hong Kong. They purge the leadership in Hong Kong. Right. Of course, Hong Kong's going to speak out against us.
Right, and Trump put sanctions against their leader who's communist.
Right. Shocking. It's like, this is crazy. I swear. I'm either going insane.
You are, but that's
I know I am. It's so ridiculous. Like you people who okay, I had someone this week say that they couldn't make an opinion for or against Marxism because they haven't done enough research on it. Now hold on. Just hold on. Hold on.
All I gotta do is type in Marxism.
All you have to do is number one, type in Marxism, or just
number two, just read an article.
Read any article. Read any article except from the Washington Post, apparently. That shows how many people died under Mao. Or, excuse me, didn't die. Were killed. Under Marxist leaders. Like Stalin. Like Mao. Like... I can't think of another Marxist leader right now. Hugo Chavez. like Fidel Castro. Okay? These are people who bought into the Communist Manifesto. These are people who bought into Das Kapital, or whatever that other book was. Yeah, Das Kapital. Guys, read.
Stop it.
Read.
Nobody wants to read.
If you don't have a copy, and I know this is the third week in a row, if you don't have a copy of Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky, if you don't have a copy of the Communist Manifesto, if you don't have a copy of Das Kapital, you need to get it and you need to read it. If you have not read Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf, go read it. You have to read it. You read this stuff and you realize how bad Marxism is. It is bad. It is terrible, and it leads to death. In the words of...
I take it back. You can't Google Marxism and get an accurate description of what it is.
You can't? Well,
They put it in a very good light.
You think?
They make it, they're just it's a socioeconomic way of organizing where the workers own the means of production. Socialism
sounds nice.
Socialism is a way of organizing a society in which means of production are owned and controlled by the proletariats. Marx proposed that this was the next step in the progress of history.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would not have been the description like 20 years ago.
No, it wouldn't have been.
It would have been it would have actually told you that, Marxism has led to the millions of deaths.
Yeah.
Because of its ideals.
Yep. Well, we ignore it so that we can embrace it. We ignore it so we can embrace it.
Like Planned Parenthood.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. In the words of Forrest Gump, that's all I got to say about this.
Yep.
That's all I got to say about this.
Yep.
We'll be right back with the final segment.
Yep. Never know what you're going to get.
Well, with Marxism, you probably won't get anything. You'll open up that box of chocolates and everyone else is eating it. So you're screwed.
For my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa.
That was a non-gendered person, Ken, and you just gave it a gender.
I tried this one chili and it set my mouth on fire, and I had to drink a 2-liter of Mountain Dew.
All right, leave this guy alone with his poor constipated poops. We're going to come back and talk about politics. So that's what really matters here.
And in typical fashion, no, we're not.
Yeah. Tombstone hasn't texted us back.
He hasn't.
He's
the
worst. He's the worst.
We really needed a belt loop update.
He probably knows exactly what we're going to ask him. That's why. He's like, this can't be good. There are no emergencies that happen.
As I said, we really need a belt loop update. And
let's call Jeff. Get Jeff on the line.
Jeff, do you have a belt loop update? Hey. Moving on.
Okay.
So the last segment, I ranted about a bunch of books that adults need to read, including Mein Kampf, Das Kapital, Rules for Radicals, Communist Manifesto. Can I add to that a couple books too?
No.
Sun Tzu's The Art of War.
Oh, that is a rough get through though. But that is a
good
really
book.
good book.
It is a good book.
That is a really good book.
Also,
that's a better book if you can get it on audio, because it makes a lot more reading sense. I don't know. It did for me anyway. It was a lot smoother because it's just long. It's long, and it's not really per se like an in-depth book of like it's just it's all about here's what you do in this situation. And then here's what you do in the next situation. Here's what you do in this. This is why you don't want to do this. That's it. It's how to fight a freaking war. It's great.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant.
It is a bit of a hard read. I gotta.
Another book is The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli. Machiavelli. That is not a book that you really want to embrace as your own, but you want to learn from. Very much like Das Kapital, or the whole thing is the ends justify the means.
Yeah.
And
that's what we keep telling ourselves on the show.
Well, yeah, so
we'll get there.
So yeah, it's one of those things. It's a fantastic. It's fantastic.
I have some books that I would like to recommend too.
Yeah.
I just finished reading, and I don't think I ever read this before. I finished reading Call of the Wild.
Oh yeah, that's a good book.
That?
Yeah, man.
That is a killer book. So we've been going through some of the books
Just like
with our
the wolves.
kids. Yeah, we've been getting some of the books with our kids and different things, and I realized like some of these I've never read, but are excellent, just literary books.
Yeah.
For young kids, like kids who want to have adventures and things like that. I think our society has gone into, not that Harry Potter isn't good, but there's a lot of books that are classic adventure books that bring a lot of things that modern literature does not.
I'll go with that. Yeah.
If that makes sense. I'm not dissing modern literature because there's a lot of excellent books.
Yeah.
But I think in general, they kind of steer away into the fanciful as opposed to the potential reality. So one of the books that we read recently was Robin Hood, and going through that, man, those books are great.
Yeah.
First off, there's about 1 million books, depending on who the writer is, that are all generally the same. But, stuff like Robin Hood, where it's like, you're a kid, you remember watching it, you remember reading it, and then you went out and you made a bow and arrow. One of the other ones is Treasure Island, is also an excellent book.
Oh, yeah.
These are books that we have and we're going through with our kids because they're just great at grasping the imagination, and they're excellent books. They speak about courage. There's pirates. There's situations where it's like, well, with Robin Hood, it's like, okay, well, he's literally going up against a tyrannical government who's taken over the throne, after the Crusades. Or
Of course, we're not encouraging anything there.
No,
just
not.
That's all I'm saying.
Definitely not. But Call of the Wild is also an excellent book. But I just finished that. That's why it kind of triggered it onto me, because I'll read that to my kids eventually. But it's just there's a lot of really great adventure books.
Oh yeah,
that are out there that are just completely thrown by the wayside now.
Robinson Crusoe, Swiss Family Robinson.
Yep.
Which I believe Swiss Family Robinson was an actual book.
There was stuff by there were let's see, Nancy Drew books.
Oh yeah. I've got we
Hardy Boys.
We kept
books.
all of our Hardy Boys and Nancy Drews. We've got them all.
Too. We got them from the library. Our library
Boys
was having a
will love
huge
them.
sale on them because nobody wants them anymore.
Yeah. I read all those books. I loved them.
But they're excellent books, and there's a lot of really good literature out there for kids. And if I'm honest, it really kind of sparks its excitement in me, because it's kind of like, yeah, I remember like this type of thing, and it is exciting.
I was reading a study a couple years ago, and they were talking about the difference between books and visual stimuli, so movies, and how it triggers different parts of your brain.
Okay.
And it can't recreate itself. Like movies and stuff can't recreate itself like books can.
Right.
And so, like in the brain. And so the way the brain works, it can't it knows they're different. And so anyways, your brain processes the auditory or the visual reading different than it does the movies. And so it literally gets programmed into a different part of your brain.
Interesting.
And it's a much more fanciful place of the brain.
Yeah.
where you can actually imagine and envision. And that's why oftentimes when you read a really good book, you have dreams afterwards, especially when it's a fiction. And you literally are in the book. And
right.
Whereas a movie, you watch a movie, who cares? You walk out of a 2-hour movie and it's whatever. You're done.
Right.
Who cares? It's over.
Right.
But a book, you get lost forever.
Right.
And
I had that exact same experience with the Harry Potter books. I had not read them. I watched movies.
Gotcha.
And then about 3 years ago, I read them. And dude, like, they are excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent books. Like, very, very, very classic. Like, they're definitely going down to be classic literature. I would put them in the category of Lord of the Rings type classics.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, I would.
Interesting.
I would.
So I've
Lord of the Rings, I would think, is a little bit more mature.
Okay.
Maybe geared towards a little bit older kids.
But now here's a question.
I would say that Harry Potter is definitely on that.
Here's a question, because I value your opinion on this. Did you think that it was what some folks would claim demonic or
Harry Potter?
Yeah. Because a lot of people are throwing that around.
No.
Okay. So
I wouldn't. It deals with witches and wizards and spells and things like that. But I wouldn't say.
Okay.
I wouldn't say
because
it's
a lot of people are like, oh, it's
than,
evil, it's demonic, it's
If it is, then you got to start knocking on Lord of the Rings too.
Okay.
I mean, it does it in a lesser fashion.
That has always been my opinion on it. I've seen one of the movies. I haven't read any of the books.
The books are way better than the movies. Way better.
We watched now because our kids are so young. Our kids are 5 and 2.
Yeah.
And literally Myron is starting kindergarten this fall.
Yeah.
We're homeschooling him. And at least to start out with, we'll see what happens in the future. If we can handle that responsibility or not. But he can't read yet.
Right.
So the other day we're chilling out and we're just having some family time, and I threw on the new Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yes.
What a fantastic movie,
dude! The
books are much better.
If you want the best audio, and we listen to this on our way to church almost every week.
Yeah,
it is Focus on the Family. Did all of the Narnia series
really?
It's like two parts that are like an hour long for each book.
Interesting. So it's not they weren't actually reading the books though.
No, they're not reading the books. They dramatize.
So I was
for radio.
I wonder if I can't get an audiobook for the boys, because I'd love them to hear it, right off the bat.
Excellent.
Yeah. Oh, that's good to know.
Excellent book or excellent series. The books are excellent too.
Yeah.
Just the books, period. If you read the book to your kids, they're awesome.
I would also say
Narnia is awesome.
I would also say anything from C.S. Lewis. Put it in your bookshelf.
I would put I would put Narnia kind of on the same age bracket as at least the first couple Harry Potter books.
Okay, gotcha.
It's kind of that same thing. I don't know. Lord of the Rings, I guess, could be in there, but for some reason, I feel like it just doesn't. It's not as captivating because it's not. It's not. Maybe it's because it doesn't deal with children in the book.
Yeah.
Because all of the Lord of the Rings, you have the hobbits, but it's not as if they're young.
Right.
And there's no, you're not following a kid's story. Narnia, you're always following the children.
I realize this is sacrilege, but I'm not a fan of Lord of the Rings. But I value it for
We're
its.
Not all perfect.
I value it for its literature.
Yeah.
And I will never take I'm just not into the story.
Yeah.
But I will never take I'll never detract from it.
I would think Lord of the Rings is more along the lines of kind of Robin Hood-esque.
So I've found that I like literature that is based in reality. We talked about this on the show a couple years ago, or maybe it was a year or so ago, about the different versions of fiction or fantasy.
Yeah.
and I forget what all the different levels of it are, but I like when the fantasy is steeped in the real world, and kind of is based on us, and then you go out from there.
Okay.
So like Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, absolutely
Yes.
loved it.
Yes. Great. They're great.
Tolkien.
Although, again, the movies do not even remotely
agreed.
do justice
Agreed.
to the books.
I agree.
Don't even
absolutely agree.
Remotely.
The message in the books is so much better.
Yeah.
Like so much more concise. You can actually read Tolkien or C.S. Lewis. He's actually.
I would say as far as Narnia goes, like that's appropriate for like every age group.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
There's nothing in those books that you could potentially even be questionable for young kids.
Yeah. Oh
at
yeah.
all.
Yeah.
At all. Harry
It's
Potter,
fantastic.
there's a little bit of language that you got to watch,
Okay.
but it's very sparse.
Yeah.
And it's
Gotcha.
not as if they're dropping the F-bomb or anything.
Yeah,
It's
right.
just,
Yeah.
But,
No kidding. No worse than we do on the show. No, I mean, so yeah, when it comes to Tolkien and stuff, like I'm not into it because it's like it's totally separate from our world. Star Wars, I enjoy the story, but I'm like, that's a galaxy far, far away, a long time. I don't care. Like, whatever. Like it's weird. And so like I like it and all, but it's just I'm not into it.
yeah. Yeah.
It's super
But
weird.
you're
like
fine with Star Trek.
Star Trek is fine because that's us, man. That's us in the future. That's after we embrace the Marxist society. We've built a utopia post scarcity.
I firmly believe Patrick Stewart will be around to actually command his starship because
I hope he
I
is.
think that man is like ancient. I think that he's not actually like, in his 50s. I think he's in like his 500s.
Have you seen him in anything else?
What besides Star Trek?
He's a fantastic actor.
Oh yeah.
Like just brilliant.
He was in Hamlet.
Hamlet. He was in
he was
Moby
excellent.
Dick.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was an excellent Moby Dick. I'm just saying that again. That is another book.
Oh,
Although,
yeah.
Find the abridged version of
Call
Moby
me
Dick.
Ishmael.
Yes, find the abridged version though,
Why?
because dude, it's like this,
Yeah.
man. It's
Yeah.
like 7,000 pages.
So-
and it's talking about, well, this is what this dude had for breakfast
Yes,
today. And
yes.
you're like, okay,
Fantastic. An entire
move the-
chapter dedicated to
move-
breakfast. What's wrong with that, Ozzy?
move the story along.
So
move it along. Man.
I'm convinced his publisher was like, you got to have a couple more pages. And he's like,
Dude,
okay,
it's like-
breakfast.
It was like, you remember in college when we had that English paper that we had to do, and it was like, it's got to be 7 pages and 3,000 words, and you're like, how am I going to explain this in that many words? And you're like, I have 3 pages. Like, and then all of a
Dude.
sudden your sentences start running on.
I had to take that class in community college to pass it. Okay. Like I couldn't, I got
It's
a
a hard class,
I got a D, and you had to pass it with a C.
They were like,
I got a
this
D
will determine the rest of
first
your life
time.
on
Yeah.
this campus, whether
Oh,
or not
yeah.
you can pass
Oh yeah.
this.
I took it twice. The first time I did my paper, I submitted it, got a D minus. I submitted the same paper, my rough draft. My final copy as my rough draft the second time I took it.
Yeah.
And I still got a D on it.
Yeah.
And like I did a ton of improvements to it. Like I changed a whole bunch of stuff.
Yep.
Like if
It
I
was
took
bad.
if I took it now, I think I'd do a lot better on it. Like
I wouldn't.
I just but as I said, I had to go to community college in order to pass it. I had a 3 to 5 page paper in community college. I got an A on the paper.
Class. It was a horrible class.
Now,
They were
granted, the
so
standards weren't so
strict.
high. Yeah,
They
it
were
was.
so strict.
Now,
And
look,
I don't disagree with it. I just
community college was pretty strict when it came to the sourcing and everything.
that class.
But they were much more. They were much more open on the topic. Apparently, where we went to school, they did not want to abolish the death penalty. That was what my paper was. My paper was the abolishment of the death penalty.
Huh.
And that's actually where I turned the page on my death penalty opinions was in college because of that paper. after reading the issues with it. So yeah, that was interesting.
So yeah, book recommendations. There you go. All right, let's move on. What is the basketball beer challenge? Oh, this was me.
That was you. That was you.
Have you seen this?
I did see the video of this.
Okay, so
It's incredible.
in the video, this is apparently a thing because we've been so bored in 2020 that people
Because
are at
literally all we have is TikTok.
home and beer. Apparently all that we have.
I can think of worse things,
So
I guess.
they were like, what can I do with my beer bottle? I got a basketball. I have a basement. I have a beer bottle with beer in it.
Yes, yes.
With beer in it.
I
So
love this Trump impersonator.
you take your beer bottle.
Yes.
or
Yes.
water
yes.
bottle.
The Trump impersonator drinking
he's
it
good.
perfectly.
He's good.
That's funny.
You take a water bottle or a beer bottle. You place it on top of the basketball, balance it on top of the basketball, hold it about shoulder height, and then then you drop it. Basketball bounces with the bottle on top of it. The shot goes through the basketball and launches the bottle into the air. You catch the bottle, take a swig, look cool. If you don't rack yourself.
Okay.
Because you misplaced.
I may need to try this.
I'm just saying, be careful. There are really some bad.
Does
bad ways to
not
hurt
work with
yourself
cans, by the way.
with a glass bottle.
Does not work with cans.
Yeah, the fails are pretty good on this. So check it out. It's called the Basketball Beer Challenge. And yeah, so you bounce the beer on the basketball and it bounces up.
Oh my goodness gracious.
And hopefully doesn't hurt you in any way.
That looked like it was injurious. Injurious? Injurious. I don't know. I don't know. That's fantastic. There's
yeah, it's pretty good.
We'll try to post the video of that to the Facebook page. Otherwise
that
you can
lady just got hit right in the face.
Oh yeah.
Like it's yeah.
I love the guy. He's like,
yes, the Trump guy.
Trump drinking.
The Trump dude's freaking hilarious.
Gold.
All right, what else?
No, so this the basketball beer challenge made me think of Katie Ledecky, who decided to swim with a glass of chocolate milk on the top of her head.
I saw this.
Yeah, man.
I saw this. That is nuts.
So, yeah,
this is crazy.
Like it's wild.
She's got a scuba mask and breather on, like one of those face ones, not just like a regular scuba mask.
No, it's a snorkel. Snorkel.
Yeah, one of the full face. I'm sorry,
full face snorkel. Yeah, full face snorkel.
It's a full face snorkel. It's not one of the regular traditional snorkels.
She transverses the pool, and then
she goes on one side, pours the milk. She's in the pool, pours the milk in the glass, puts the glass on top of her head, and swims all the way across the pool, and the milk doesn't even move.
Okay, what in the world?
How is that even possible? It's amazing.
Total side note here for all the YouTube watchers who were watching this. Why am I getting these ads for these trending for me on TikTok? I've never been to TikTok in my life.
Dude, you were just on a TikTok thing.
Well, I was playing the video off of it, but it's like super weird videos, dude.
But dude,
super weird.
The last video, the beer challenge video, had TikTok.
Oh, that was a TikTok video?
Yeah, it was a TikTok. It was a TikTok video on YouTube.
Well, now I'm getting a bunch of weird suggestions, dude. So thank you so much for sending those to me.
Did you see that thing on Facebook where it was like, well, I've decided to talk out loud today about specifically what type of couch I need, so that way when I go to my computer, Google
then it'll give me the ads.
The correct ads.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
this glass of milk thing is incredible.
Just crazy.
That is talent right there. I'm just saying, that's amazing. I did not realize that their head was so stationary compared.
Yeah,
to
isn't it incredible?
Because obviously they don't have the snorkel on.
Right. Obviously they're swinging their head sideways.
Yeah, but they're not though.
So we
their head is staying straight, and then they're just turning to get air.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, but I didn't realize their head never actually always stays on the same plane.
Yes, yeah,
That's what's
it's
incredible.
perfect. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So Myron has embarked on swimming lessons.
Oh,
5 years old. Well, that was the issue.
Wait a minute.
Okay, so he was playing with some friends at a local pond and fell in.
Oh.
And couldn't swim.
Well, yeah.
And we decided it was time to get him into swimming lessons, and so we've been doing swimming lessons at the YMCA.
Nice.
And it has been a comedy of errors.
Do you all just dress like you dress like a construction worker and an Indian?
Well, yeah, and we walk in singing YMCA.
Do you seriously walk in, dude? If I went
Gonna
to the
stay at
YMCA,
YMCA.
that would be amazing.
Yeah, man. Got to do what you got to do.
I need you to record that on TikTok.
It's been funny because these are high school students who are teaching the kids to swim, which is fine. No issue there.
Yeah.
But Myron's a talker and dare I say a player and I don't want to say manipulator, but he can talk his way out of a paper bag. I mean, and so like the first day we're there, like I see him completely bull crapping this poor girl. And I apologized for him. Like I apologized to her for him. I was like, look, if he tries to pull anything with you, just make him do it. Like he's trying to explain why he can't swim or why he can't do this, why he can't do that. And she's like buying it. And I'm like, we're here to swim, boy. We're here to swim. Ridiculous. So yeah, it's gotta be my kid.
So it's great.
So yeah, anyway, swimming lessons. We'll see how those go.
So I have a goat for your farm.
A goat?
Oh yes.
Goats are fantastic.
Yes. They are. These are
They taste good.
Gabani goats.
Gabani goats?
Gulabi
goats.
Gulabi?
What's a Gulabi goat?
They are ugly. That's what they are.
What do you mean?
So there was this picture going around Facebook of this girl who found this goat. The goats have like ridiculously long ears. Ridiculous.
Okay, I'm looking at the picture now. It's got cute ears.
Okay. So the picture was of this girl with this little baby goat that has these really long ears.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, so precious. I love these kind of goats. And then this guy posts what the goats are, and he posts a picture of the goats. And these things get ugly when they get big.
Oh, yeah.
If you scroll down.
I'm looking at them.
This goat looks like something from Star Wars, man.
That looks awesome. I want one.
I told you.
I want one. That looks great.
These goats. So yeah, these
Gulabi Paturi goats. Wow, that's
yes. So there you go. So you should
that's
definitely
awesome.
check it out.
They are butt ugly, but they are so cool.
Right. But
oh
their
my
ears
goodness.
are huge.
That's incredible.
Huge. So yeah, so that was
A
my
Gulabi goat. It looks like they had their ears like rolled through a pasta maker.
Yeah.
Just to stretch them out just a little bit.
Yep. They're ridiculous.
So we had these pigs in Vermont called red wattles. And they had little wattles on their jowls. And so a wattle is like just a little dangly thing. Just kind of hangs off their jowl.
Like the Balchinians from Men in Black.
No, that's a little different. I watched that the other day though. Fantastic movie. So red wattle pig.
Oh,
if you look at the picture, yeah, it's wattle, W-A-T-T-L-E.
Yeah.
If you look at their neck,
that's weird.
You can see here just the little.
It looks like almost like a tail coming off.
Yeah, almost. It's just like a little skin tag, but every pig has one. like, or two, one on either side. And yeah, it's just super weird.
Why?
I don't know, but they're born with these little waddles.
Just breeding and that. Like
I don't know. It looks like I'm not going to say what it looks like. It looks like one on either side of the neck. I mean,
it doesn't.
What?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't. It can't.
It doesn't.
Can't. No.
Terrible person. Terrible person.
Well, that's all we have for today. www.thefrontporchshow.com. I figured we better go out and save us.
Yeah.
If you have any comments, send it to call 140279 and 1811. That is the message line number. If you have hate mail, send it to tombstone@thefrontporchshow.com. He is always happy to receive it and
He's
sometimes
also
respond.
accepting belt loops too.
Belt loops.
Anybody has any extra belt?
If anyone has any belt loops to mail in, that's P.O. Box. No, we can get you an address if you need to send belt loops. Happy anniversary, Tombstone. Happy birthday, Jeff's wife.
Yes.
We miss you guys. We love you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.